next week we got this commission. So we both have. Yeah.
Not good cars.
Which is a blessing. If you weren't listening, you know how to get out of people. You know what it feels like. You know the other side. There is an other side.
And the other one that was always running outside the session, I admit during my years, I had alphabetic.
We are live, so just, I mean, no, so we've got 3 minutes before we're ready to start.
Gotcha.
Just want to make sure. Starting out.
No swearing military.
Oh, yeah. That's up to you. I know, I like my job.
Right.
I mean, I thought like, oh man.
Well, West Point, anyway, but West Point. And I wound up becoming great friends. We were first started together. We were S3 and
that's how it was.
officer and NCO together.
We had our
Court
time.
ops and court ops NCO together. We were almost the tank commander of the assembly. Just now, he's got about 1 year left. He had switched to the guard. He's now one star up in Minnesota. Brian Bobo.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, right now with the weather and the leaves.
We were. We had
I think we're going to go ahead and start.
Yeah. What did I?
My brother did that. My brother he was a girl sergeant, so he was my mentor.
I spent the whole time in the office with Sil. My wife and I lived there. Beautiful lot.
You know, after all these years.
Yeah, even that was they didn't know it held it. They teach math reading or anything. Silly. I taught fire. They still had the OCS going on, so their fire department demonstrations were neat.
They were.
Fire this thing. Oh.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Thanks a lot for coming to our presentation, our open house here this morning. Welcome to our campus on behalf of President Bullock. Please go out and enjoy the campus. We're going to have wonderful weather that we ordered for the weekend here. So the weather's beautiful, the campus is beautiful. In case you're not aware, let me point out a couple things I challenge you to walk by. Like for instance, in the quad right south of us here, when you walk out the building, when you walk in the center there, you'll see that the years that the campus was, that the university's been around, all the years that we were at a time of war are in blue. So it's kind of a neat fact. I don't know if you've ever noticed it before, but so check that out. Right in the southwest corner of the quad is the Veterans Memorial in regards to our Vietnam Memorial and our additional memorial that we set up for a couple of our ROTC students that commissioned from here. And then we have the anchor down in front of the Veterans Memorial Building with the training center below the CRC there to the south. Just go check all that out and enjoy our campus. So here at the Veterans Center, we've been having some pretty good times here. Again, we've been thriving because of the generous donations and investments of folks like you all, and we really appreciate it. Some of the things that we've tried to continue to do here is support our student veterans and their families. We recently were recognized as the #3 school out of 1,800 schools that take the surveys for military-friendly universities and education centers. We were ranked number 3 in the nation out of that. So that was a very good accomplishment on our part to continue to prove that we're really trying to take care of our veterans and their families. Some of the things that I'd like to highlight are that I kind of started doing last year. For instance, what is the median age of some of our student veterans? Right now, they're averaging about 32. Average traditional students probably 21. The GPA median, our student veterans are around 3.7 to 3.8. It's 3.76 right now, whereas a traditional student, we're at 3.4. We have students from private to LTC going here right now. So lieutenant colonel to private, we have all the branches. This year we have a lot of Marines. It's unusual. They're one of the smaller forces in numbers, but we have a bunch of Marines this year, which is kind of neat. We have officers, enlisted, NCOs, all the services. We have brothers. We have several husband and wife teams they were all serving and they're going to school here. So that's pretty neat. They are in accounting programs, marketing, HR, criminal justice, digital forensics, flight operations, both fixed and rotary wing, in our nursing program, in our PA program, mathematics, biology, environmental, psychology. Those are the primary ones, and there's a few others, but those are the primary majors they seem to gravitate towards. We have some of those same folks in our choir, in cross country, and our fishing team. We've got 2 or 3 veterans. In fact, when I was talking to them, hey, do you realize, and they're in our environmental science program, do you realize we have a bass fishing team? Are you kidding? I'm coming. So we got some folks in our bass fishing team, and they're doing well. Some of our ROTC officers, recently we had an officer that commissioned out of here, was it this summer, I think, was the honor grad at EOD school, the officer explosive and ordnance demolition school. We've had several recently go through and complete the Army Ranger School. So our ROTC folks are doing great. We've had it going about 1.5 years now in our Salute to Service program, where the school allows service members with a 214 and their spouse to go here in our LIFE program. That's our adult education evening program for $250 a credit hour, which is pretty incredible. And that includes our undergrad program there and our graduate program. In addition, we offer daycare to those folks, which is pretty amazing because if you're trying to go to night school to better yourself, you probably, as a family person and somebody who's working, daycare might be an issue. So that's another great benefit we're doing. And oh, by the way, we were ranked number 9 in taking care of military spouses. Another neat thing that's happened in the last year since we've seen each other is Iowa Workforce Development was celebrating women veterans in the month of June. And they reached out to the University of Dubuque here because we have such good relationships and good things going on with veterans. If we could assist with helping get an initial meeting and summit of women veterans going. So we had that here in this June. And as a result of that, we now have a tri-state area women warriors group that's doing some neat things. And coincidentally enough, one of their meeting sites is the Wicked Dame downtown, so I thought that was pretty neat, the Wicked Dame. During the past year since we've met, we did, again, because of our great reputation here as far as taking care of veterans, it was reached out from the Dubuque Museum of Arts to get some Vietnam veterans to do some interviews. And those interviews then ran from November through February of 22 at the Dubuque Museum of Art. So we had some alumni come through here that were Vietnam veterans and some area veterans that are affiliated with the university that came through and did great interviews. And so that was a great highlight. We also then ran those in our art gallery last January when we had, for a 2-week period, when we had another great function here that helped promote our veterans programs here. And we had Rocky Blyer here doing his play, Rocky Blyer's one-man play, The Play, which was just incredible. Rocky just put on a phenomenal show to a full house, and people didn't want to leave. And he was gracious and did a bunch of interviews. It's towards the tail end of the clamp down COVID restrictions too, so it was really a neat thing. One of the other things we had going on last year since we've met was we had a Tuskegee Airmen display here where we had a P-51 and a van that talked about the Tuskegee Airmen and what their accomplishments were. Because of that effort, the Dubuque community had an effort going on to rename the Dubuque terminal the Captain Robert Martin Terminal after local Tuskegee Airman Robert Martin, who went to senior high school and graduated from Iowa State University and was one of the Tuskegee Airmen. In fact, I've got a Dubuque Encyclopedia of World War II heroes over there on the counter, and it shows Captain Martin's picture and his time frame being in service. So again, it helped us participate in that, and we brought great awareness, because they had to raise local funds to do the signage and everything to rename it. So it was a great effort on our part to help get that to go. Also, I'd like to point out something, a new piece we have here. Jan Miller gifted her husband, Lieutenant Michael Downey's Marine Corps saber and scabbard. So we've got that proudly displayed now, and hopefully folks can be inspired by his sacrifice. So at this time, what I'd like to do is invite John up to present the Ron Sagers Scholarship.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome. And I want to thank you for your contribution and your continued support for Ron's scholarship. I'm always moved when I come to Dubuque with two interesting emotions. Humility for the accomplishments of the veterans that are here. A 3.7 grade point average is amazing. I graduated in 1968, summa cum lucky, from the university. So a 3.7 grade point average is quite an accomplishment. And I'm also filled with pride because the university has really blossomed and become just an amazing place. The buildings, the students, the staff is incredible. So I have humility for the service and for your accomplishments, and I have pride in my alma mater. I was a fraternity brother of Ron and a fraternity brother of Michael Barkhurst. He was actually my big brother when I pledged. So it's like coming home. And in terms of coming home and in terms of pride, Dakota Rager is the scholarship winner for Ron Sagers. Carries a very special mantle, and that mantle is Ron. Those of us who knew him will always have him close to our heart. Just a minute. I love that guy. I want to tell you a little bit about Dakota. He joined the Army at the age of 17. Wow. I don't know what I was doing at 17, but obviously you had a great sense of purpose, Dakota. During his senior year in high school, he served in the United States Army as an engineer diver for 7 years of his life. After completing a year of training and graduating from dive school, he was stationed in Fort Eustis, Virginia. While serving in the Army, he traveled all over the United States and the world, completing missions such as aiding in the recovery of the remains of fallen service members from previous wars and conflicts, and repairing the United States of America Corps of Engineer facilities, and finishing his career as a sergeant. So my dad and my father-in-law were both sergeants. Again, a little connection. He was based in Pearl Harbor and also wound up in Raleigh, North Carolina, where he became a fireman. So you were connected to water in some way or another, I guess. Dakota recently returned and turned his sights in returning to becoming a helicopter pilot. And his research brought him, no surprise, to a wonderful university here in Dubuque. He moved to Iowa, and right now he's logged in over 180 hours of flight and continues to maintain a 4.0 grade point average. So I think you'll do better than summa cum lucky out of here. He hopes one of his ambitions is to become a certified flight instructor and perhaps aid the university in their aviation program. So without any further ado, congratulations, Dakota. And my best wishes.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
There you go.
Pose here, Jake.
Thank you guys, and thank you everybody for being here to attend and watch this ceremony. One thing that John just said is that I chose this school because it's a wonderful university and it has a good reputation as a flight school, but the actual reason that I chose this school is because it has such a strong dedication to its veterans. I actually contacted Rick when I was first looking for schools. I was still a firefighter and wasn't even sure that I was going to go to college. And I happened to find the University of Dubuque, and I contacted Rick, and this was late on a Friday night maybe, you know, it's like 7 p.m., so I assumed to get an email back within a week maybe, and I don't think it took him 5 minutes before he already had an email back to me, and he told me to call him on his cell phone right now if I wanted to talk, and this is 7 p.m. on a Friday night, so Rick does a lot for this university, and his dedication to getting veteran students into this university is a strong pool, and it was for me. It's definitely one of the reasons, if not the main reason, that I decided to come to this university. And this school is very dedicated to its veterans. It has a wonderful GI Bill program that they work so well with, and the Yellow Ribbon program. So a lot to be said for University of Dubuque and how well that they take care of veterans at this school. And then for the scholarship, obviously this is such an important thing to remember people like Staff Sergeant Ron Sagers. And not only for his valor, obviously, a lot of you guys maybe know the story. He was awarded the Silver Star, and he acted so heroically in a time when it would be so easy to not act heroically, which made such a big difference in the world. But an even more important thing to say about Ron is the emotion that he evokes from John after 50 years of time. John still remembers him so fondly as a friend. And I think that says even more about the kind of person that Ron was. So a lot for me to live up to, but honored to get the scholarship. And thank you guys very much.
I think another connection is Dakota was a wrestler in high school. Another thing I forgot to tell you about Dakota is he really challenged our flight program to where he overshot the runway as far as them trying to, when you put a program like that together, they say, okay, the average student, here's what they're gonna do, here's what certifications they'll get, here's how many hours it'll take them to do that. He completely shattered all those norms that were the norm, and we had to do some creative scheduling at times and make sure everything was gonna work perfectly to get him his GI Bill. We did a great job with our GI Bill in our Yellow Ribbon program, but Dakota challenged that to the max. So I hope it works for you to stick around and help train future pilots. Okay, let's move on to the Sergeant Jeffrey B. Dodge Scholarship. Well, amazingly enough, the students that we have involved with these incredible members of our fraternity that we have scholarships for, Jeff and Ron, Sebastian Buman is a senior airman with the Iowa Air National Guard. He's currently in Tampa at an aviation conference. He's a senior this year, and he's down there with Dr. Tony Foster, our aviation guy. And they're in the middle of a conference right now, so unfortunately he can't be here to accept this. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Sebastian. So he joined in fact, first time I met Sebastian, to tell you the quality of these young men and women that come through here, was that, is anybody here familiar with the American Legion Boys State? That's the first time I met Sebastian. He was recommended by his local Legion to attend Boys State. And that's the first time I met him, was at Boys State, and he said, I want to be a pilot, and I want to fly, and I want to go to school. And I said, well, man, do I have the place for you? Well, 2 years later, he showed up here at the University of Dubuque, and he's also in the Iowa Air National Guard, like I was saying. So he joined and enlisted in January of 2019. He attended basic military training at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio and advanced individual training at Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls. He's currently assigned to the 185th Air Refueling Wing in Sioux City, Iowa. Last semester, about midway through, he was notified of a mobilization, and he actually went with his unit to Europe, to Eastern Europe, to do refueling missions with the current things going over in that neck of the woods over there. So he left school early, but again, we've got great military programs for our vets that are still serving in the reserves that have to leave semester early, and he's a great student also. He's a 3.9 GPA. So around campus, he's in multiple student organizations: Alpha Eta Rho, the International Aviation Fraternity, the National Society of Leadership and Success, and the University of Dubuque's Veteran Group. Like I said, he maintains a 3.9 GPA while regularly attending drills and working part-time outside of school. When he completes his degree here, his plan is to apply for a commission in the United States Air Force and become a pilot there. He looks forward to being an officer and flying jets, and the ones that he's been working on for the last several years as an enlisted airman. So on Sebastian's behalf, he said to tell everyone, thank you so much for this honor. He's honored to get this selection as the Sergeant Jeffrey B. Dodge Scholarship recipient, and he will put it to good use in regards to his tuition and his flight costs. So thank you very much. So with that, like I said, please go enjoy campus. We've got beautiful weather for it. Check out those veteran unique things and all the other unique things about our beautiful campus. If you would like to talk to someone about investing in our veterans, there's several folks around here you can talk to. Again, thank you for being so generous. It's your generosity that allows us to take care of our veterans like we do. So thank you, and we have refreshments out there in the kitchen. Please eat them so I don't have to. Okay. So I'll grab one second. How you been? Good.